Hey, what's up, guys? It's vlog week 5, and I am going to be in the car today. Going to pick up a hard drive. Got a pretty big video project that we're working on. I gotta make sure our team gets it. And yes, it is a Sunday, and yes, I am working on a Sunday. I try to typically do 30,000 foot view on Sundays only, but occasionally I have to go out and work. So, and I enjoy it. I mean, it's last week kind of, and that's what I'm about to go over. Last week was definitely not as productive as I would have wanted, and that's mainly due to several factors. One, probably the biggest thing that happened that was great this past week. So I haven't had a car for, like my standalone car for business. I haven't had one for probably about a month and a half, 2 months. Honestly, maybe even longer than that. I tried to not keep track because it was depressing and it sucked. And the reason that is because, my credit is still not developed enough for a lot of these creditors to look at it positively, no matter how much income is being brought in. And not that I'm bringing in millions yet, but regardless, it was tough. So one huge thing that happened literally yesterday on Saturday, I finally got the car I've been wanting, and I could have got a junker or whatever a while ago, but and a lot of people that are in entrepreneurship are probably about to hate, but I finally got my car. It's Audi A6, and it's sweet fucking car. This thing is awesome. It's actually what I'm in right now. But before everybody jumps on, it's like, oh, you're supposed to, live humbly and, set aside your money and all that stuff. The reason I bought it, one, I got a good deal. It took a long time, but I finally found one that kind of fit what I was looking for. But two, in my industry, it's, people are looking for a certain image, as shallow as that may sound. And if I roll up in there in a Honda Civic or something, it's kind of like, that's great and all, but I'm not gonna pay X amount of dollars for these services. No, not like that. And it fits my character, which is I'm consider myself very professional. I try to dress appropriately, and usually I'm one of the nicer dressed folks. And that's not because I'm all high and mighty about the way I look. I have a certain style and a certain way I look, and it matches. So yes, maybe it's a little irresponsible, and yes, maybe I paid a little too much, but I will say that it definitely puts the pressure on me, because now I'm like, all right, I got the car that I want. I'm upgrading. We're also upgrading our office space, so we are bumping up. It was a little tiny 10 by 20 office in Foley, and we're bumping up to a, I don't know the specifications, but instead of one like little rectangle room where everybody's sitting on top of one another, I'll have my own office. My partner will have her own office, and we'll have a break room and a shared, kind of like a working space. So that's pretty badass. So I'm super excited about that. This past month was great. Ended up pulling in about 11 G's compared to the normal 3 to 5. So that it's definitely been expanding. I definitely put in the work. So it's August 2nd today. So it's this past week, the past couple weeks, a lot has changed since I implemented this vlog. That's the reason I started this vlog, is because I really started, how do I say it, taking it more seriously and putting in a lot more effort. So it's good. So I'm super stoked about having the car, and we just put together some agreements for our vendors. We're really starting to expand, and in this market in Foley, where I am right now, in Mobile and in Pensacola. We're also looking at getting into Atlanta and Birmingham down the road, but that's kind of in the future plans. But this past week, so let's go over this past week. Yeah, so it was kind of a down week, one, because I didn't have, the transportation that I needed to do some things. things. And I'd been getting around, with my girlfriend. Her and I shared a car, but I needed a standalone car because occasionally she had some conflicts of interest there. But finally having this was a big deal. Did close one new client, had a video shoot that went well. Established a new studio space. So recently made a agreement with a music hall here locally to use their space for recording purposes, video studio. It's incredible, guys. It's like 11,500 square feet, giant 20 by 40 stage. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, it's insane. So we're now shooting a lot of our corporate and bigger video clients in that space, and we had our first one for a waxing company this past Wednesday, and it went good. And it's just incredible, like the space and like so many options that we have there. So it was exciting to be there. I'm super excited that we were able to come to terms with them for that space. So that was a big development. Glad to see the video section being built out. And another thing on the video piece, it's really been a lot more traction with the video side as of recent. I think people are starting to realize how powerful of a medium that is. So we've gotten a lot more interest in the video side of things. Let's see. Got another client. It's an apparel brand. They'll be coming in here soon, next week actually. So it'll be an August client. We're adding a sales team. That's the goal. We're adding 2 sales people in northern Alabama, and then one here locally, and then of course myself and my partner doing our thing around this area. But adding the sales team is going to take a lot of pressure off myself, because then I can focus more. It was hard because I was being split on, let's develop the company, but we also need to have sales, and then we also need to have the work being done of what I do. And I don't know if I've said in the video, but I focus on funnels, like retargeting sales funnels for companies and brands. And right now, the main one that I'm working on is a martial arts gym, getting new members there. And that's been going really good. But, by me having to focus on new business development, me having to focus on getting it more organized and scaling the company, and then on top of that having to do the work, it was just like, even with the 70 hours a week, there was no way I could do that effectively. So by adding that sales team portion, that's going to take a ton of pressure off. Now, that's not to say I'm going to stop on the sales side. I'll have to definitely close and put proposals together, because I always want, for our clients, at least I try to make it the most efficient and hands-on. Like, this is for you. This isn't just some template BS. Now, obviously, there's some structure to it that kind of stays the same, but I go in personally and I try to make sure that the price, the deliverables, the background is just for them, not just some piece of paper that the team puts together and is unpersonalized. So I'll definitely still be involved in the sales sector, but by adding a sales team in, the amount of leads and all that stuff, it's very time consuming for anybody that's been in sales. It takes a ton of time to just sit there and follow up and then do new business development, because we do it in a way that it's not just pick up the phone and call and you don't know anything about the company. You research the company, see what they need, kind of see what their budget might be, do some serious due diligence, and that takes a lot of time. So by doing that, it's definitely going to help me on take some things off my plate and let me focus on my work. As for specific clients, so as I mentioned on the funnel client, it's been going really good. We set an initial benchmark of a certain amount of clients in a month for a budget that they had set, and so far we're on track to hit that mark pretty comfortably. So it's been going fairly well with that. Really feel more comfortable with the funnels. I'm learning every day, and I learned a lot about URL parameters, and it's allowing me to track which ad is actually producing conversions, not just clicks. So that was very, very helpful, and it's helped me craft my strategy even more. So this past week. I'm trying to run through in my head what went down. I think I mentioned started training for the Spartan Ultra for this October. Shitty thing is it got canceled. So all of Spartan races in the United States this year have been canceled because of COVID. So I'm gonna keep training. I've been training pretty much every day, and I post my progress, and that's been adding a whole nother layer. Kind of whipped my ass. I was a little tired, but I'm gonna keep training like there's something to train for, and I'm gonna see if I can find, maybe a Spartan race overseas or out of the country that is around the same time that's still an ultra. And if not that, I am going to Tulum for my birthday. So I'll probably just, at the very, very least, run a marathon down there. Just not like an organized, just say fuck it and run that day a marathon or something. So I'm gonna figure something out, is what I'm saying. Like with the endurance portion, like I've, after putting in a pretty hard 2 weeks, I was like, this is, I missed this. I miss having this challenge. So I'm really kind of hooked on it again, and I just plan on kind of moving forward with that. Another big thing I got done this past week that was a big load off my shoulders is I am presenting to so one of my topics, and I don't know, I can't remember all the stuff that I say in these things because it's a lot happens in a week, so I may be repetitive, but I speak on generational differences with Gen Z in particular, and how they're entering the workforce, and so my title is the iGen, how to understand and communicate with Gen Z. And what I do is I speak to upper level management, HR directors, etc., on how to understand and communicate with Gen Z, as the title suggests. And I recently got invited to speak at a HR conference. It's their annual conference in Florida. And obviously with COVID, a lot of the in-person events and conferences have been getting canceled. But they decided to go forward with it, which is awesome. I'm glad, because it's at the Gaylord Palms down in Kissimmee, Florida, which is near Disney World, for those of you who are not familiar with that area. And it's going to be September 1st. I'm presenting there, but I also hadn't been checking my email enough, and I saw a notification that your online presentation is due July 29th, which was this past Wednesday. And I was like, oh shit, and it was the 26th. So I had to record in the next couple days. I had to get everything lined out, my entire outline, my presentation put together completely, and within 3 days I had to videotape, screen share, edit, put that on top, and make it flow and submit it. And I ended up submitting it 1 day later than what they wanted, but I got done, so I was super happy, and I think it turned out really, really good. So I think it was actually one of the better ones that I've done. So that was a big weight off my shoulders. I am looking forward to going down there and giving that presentation. I'll probably take a video or something down there, maybe post it as a separate playlist or something like that. But I'm super happy that that's been taken care of, because that was definitely a weight on me. Started a Alexa skill, so if you guys have, or if anybody has Alexa flash briefing in the morning, I'll like, Alexa, give me my flash briefing. She'll run through the news and whatever, and if you add a skill, she'll go over that. So one that I created that will be available on Alexa hopefully this upcoming week once it gets approved is how to talk to Gen Z. So if you have that skill, you can say, hey Alexa, give me my flash briefing. She goes over the news, the weather, whatever you have on that, and then the portion says from how to talk to Gen Z, and then it's me saying like the tip of the day. It's like 30 seconds on how to talk to Gen Z better. So that was pretty cool, and that was an interesting process setting that up. I thought it was going to be harder, and I don't want to count my eggs before they are whatever the saying is, what I'm trying to say. Driving, it's not easy to think of these phrases. I'm trying to focus on the road, but yeah, I don't want to count my eggs before they hatch. But If it does go through, it was way easier than I thought. Set up like a free Anchor podcasting account, took that RSS feed, which is literally just almost like the same thing as a URL, and then recorded 30 clips of me doing it. So then I schedule it out, and I have a month's worth of content right there. So setting up an Alexa skill is not near as hard as I thought it was. So I'm gonna, if it goes through, it's not near as hard as I thought it was. But if it doesn't, then obviously it might be a little more difficult. But yeah, so that was cool to launch that. Did another episode of the Gen Z podcast that turned out really good. It was about the kids returning to school, how the parents and really just all the generations are reacting to the potential of returning to school. So that was pretty good. Did a bunch of outreach, of course. Projects are going great. One of the roofing companies that we're working with is really happy with the work. We got some really cool drone shots. The video team kicked ass on that. The website's looking great. So yeah, this upcoming week we're looking at I'm actually headed to California for 10 days, and out there it's going to be a lot more kind of personal growth and development than business. So I'm going to really crush it this week, and then I'll be out there doing some hopefully horseback riding and wine tasting, etc. So that'll be fun. But this week's going to be a lot of meetings with multipliers to see if they can hopefully connect me with people that they know, because I work with a lot of folks in their industry. So I'm like, hey, you scratch your back, you scratch mine, that kind of thing. But I'll have a bunch of those meetings and phone calls this week. Man, it was a pretty busy week, honestly. It was a lot. I'm trying to think of anything else. I am having fun with this vlog. I really am. I think this is great documentation. I'm excited to look back in a year and go, wow, whether it's good or bad, what kind of happened from this point. So I think it's I'm doing my best to stay on top of it and discipline. Even when I got to drive, I slap the holder, the little suction cup thing on the window, and roll with it. So that's pretty much this week 5. If I'm not mistaken. If I am, then I sound like an idiot, and I will be sure to put the appropriate week. But I'm pretty sure this is week 5 of the vlog. And yeah, I will be back next week for more.